Chickadee check, microphone check one. Chickadee check, microphone check. Check. How you
Hello.
doing? Hello, how you doing? Nice, nice. So, fill me in on what's happened since our last session. Looks like it's been a month-ish.
Yeah.
Nice.
Uh,
So,
well,
mhm,
since a month I trained more the trekking part.
mhm,
The trekking part, and personally, I improve a lot on trekking uh, scenarios. But on the
mhm,
others, I'm struggling a bit. But I think it's normal because I had a lot of job to improve my trekking scenarios.
mhm.
But I reached some goals. I reached Immortal 3 since last time, and
Nice,
I improved my headshot percentage too. And
nice,
yeah, so I feel I'm improving a lot, but I
nice.
still need more.
No worries. All right, let's watch a let me watch a live death match from you, and I'll just look at what your aim's looking like right now, and we'll see where to take it from there.
Okay.
All right, nice, 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 Valorant.
I just have a question
Yep.
for the next months of training. Uh, is it better to train like, because actually I'm training like I'm doing faster as possible every task I do, or to go slowly and to improve the speed like between every training.
Match found.
I don't know if it was
You
clear.
don't usually want to. I'm assuming you're talking about flicking tasks.
Yeah, every task I do, it's like I'm trying to do faster as I can. But sometimes I don't know if I have to go slower and try to like improve slowly, or if I have to train always the faster I can.
A lot of times, technique is about balance, and going too far to either extreme can be problematic. So I'll take a look at the scenarios, what you're talking about after this death match, and then I'll give my thoughts on it.
Okay.
Like, if you go so slowly that it's effortless, you're basically line tracing, tracking an invisible bot, you're not going to help yourself. If you go so fast, there's no way for you to, like, have any idea what's going on. You're just randomly, constantly missing. Then you're obviously not going to improve. What the ideal situation is would be somewhere in the middle of that. And where in the middle is kind of hard to describe without seeing how you're aiming right now.
I see.
Look for my shadows, they will hide you.
Fight.
Coward, run. No. No more.
This map is one of the worst for the test match, so the spawns are pretty bad.
Just looking at how you're crossing moves in a game against in-game people.
Silence. No. No more meddling. Sage killed. Disappear. No. No. Let go. No. Killed. No. No.
What was that? Bro was doing parkour.
It's pretty common on Valorant.
Minecraft parkour in Valorant.
Like kill him, it's easy, but I'm trying only to aim for the head, so
No
I'm not
worries.
gonna lie, I'm pretty cold actually.
Three killed. 40.
10 kills remaining.
Killed. No. No.
5 kills remaining.
No. No.
1 kill remaining.
One more. No.
Nice. Alright, let's launch up Kovacs and look at a few scenarios.
Yep.
All right, let me think for a second. Let's open Kovacs and show me this. What was the thing you were saying about there's some scenarios where you're not sure how fast you want to go or how slow or whatever?
Like this one, I only the one with 6 targets small. I only like improved my score once. It
All right,
was
no
like
worries. I do want to see your 1 while 6 target small. That will be a good place to start. Let's look at that.
okay, so I do it now.
Yeah, once you're sharing your screen, I still can't see.
Okay. I had it right. The stream stopped because I stopped Valorant. Okay.
See this. Play it how you normally play it.
What?
Play it how you normally play it.
This is how I normally play.
All right, yeah, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
So one more.
Yep, just keep going. Just keep going. Nice.
Yeah, and I'm so always average this 1000 and 1015.
Nice. All right. All right.
Like this.
So here's what's got to be said about that. Basically, when you take a new player, you explain to them that a flick and a micro adjustment are two different things, right? You flick and then you micro adjust, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's cool for teaching people who have no idea how to aim at a very basic level. But what you really need to be focusing on right now is instead of separating the two, combining the two. Making it so that your flick seamlessly transitions into a micro adjustment so that your micro adjustments aren't 10 times slower than the flick. On the flicks where you didn't completely stop before a micro adjustment, you'd still take a very long time to make the micro adjustment because of how much you'd slow down. You got to learn to speed up the micro adjustments without stopping the flick, right? Does that
Mm.
make sense? Let me.
Yeah. So actually, I'm doing like two different things. First, I flick, then I adjust. And you
Yep.
want me like to adjust while I'm flicking, basically.
Seamlessly transition between the two. It's still there's still a chronological order because it's really hard to adjust while you're still moving at the full flick speed. There's still a slowdown, but the slowdown is not a stop, it's a slowdown, right? To adjust into a
Mhm.
micro adjustment speed. The the slowdown speed and the micro adjustment speed are much faster than the micro adjustment itself, right?
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. So that's the thing. I think I'm struggling to do that since already on last, say, lesson, if I can
Mm-hmm.
say. Because if you always say me the same thing, and then like maybe I don't
All
understood
right.
right. It's like yeah,
Okay,
I
so
see the point, but
I said that last time too. Let me check my notes. Let me scroll up to your last 1 while 6 targets.
mm,
Focus on fast, clean micros. Um, n not exactly. I think last time I was more focused on having you speed up your micro was with Mm. To really know you. Wait, hold up. Let me move this to. Okay. So.
Yeah, just so when you
Hold
do
on one
this,
second. Let me finish this little graph for you and then we'll talk about it. I just gotta set
okay,
this up so I can explain with it. I'm sorry.
no problem.
Control C, Control V, and slow down. Let's say this little explosion thing is you hitting the target, right? This is the end time. This is when you hit the target, right? This is the graph of your speed and the time. So basically, if your graph looks like this, you've slowed down the entire run at a steady speed. If your graph looks like this, you've sped up the entire run at a steady speed. That makes sense?
Yeah,
So let's say your graph looks like this because you start with your mouse still after you just click the other target, and it will go up, accelerate, accelerate, and then at around this point it starts to kind of flatten out, maybe accelerate a little bit. That's fine. And then we hit this yellow period of a slowdown. Now, in a normal person's case, this would go to like maybe here, maybe half, a third speed, and then they make their more precise micro adjustment at a relatively constant speed, which then goes to a stop. Right? That's a normal
yes,
that's a normal person's flick. This makes sense. So you increase speed, decrease speed, make a micro adjustment, maybe speed's decreasing a little still, and then finally land on target, right? And stop.
yeah,
All right, nice. So let's say this is your flick. In the slowdown,
okay,
you basically dive to the bottom immediately. And then you bounce up a little. And remember, the normal person, their micro adjustment line is here. You bounce up to like here, go to here, like this. See how this would take much more time because it's much slower, right?
yeah,
So instead of this red being here, the red's like all the way to here. So our end goal is to make it so that instead of your red zone being from half the time, your red zone's a small fraction of the time. So in order to do that, you have to make sure you slow across stop. And then you'll hit the
Good.
target. So let me see you attempt that again.
Sorry.
So let me see you attempt this scenario again and try and apply that little approach.
Okay. That mean. Ah, ouais.
All right. So why did that not work? Basically, let me pull back up my speed graph because I want to be since we've been trying to explain the same concept for many sessions now, I want to make sure everything's very clear so that next session we actually get to do new things, or you just hit Radiant right after this session and don't need any more sessions. So why did that work? Or actually, let's leave up this speed graph. This is the ideal one. We'll change these. We'll move this thing out of the way for now. Change these change these lines colors to a gold, and we'll make them a bit thicker so they're still visible while they're gold. So this is the ideal speed time graph, we'll call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'll look something like this. So now, what did you do
The stop, like, yeah, I see.
differently?
Nice.
Let me show you. So basically, you went up like this. Your initial acceleration boost was slower, plateaued sooner, and it didn't hit as high of a peak, right? So you were going at like a reasonable micro adjustment speed for most of your flicks, maybe a bit faster than that. And then what would happen is you'd still dip for the slowdown, but it wasn't that bad of a dip. Your micro adjustments would hold out to a bit faster than they were before, and then you'd stop and hit the target, right? So that's your overall flick. It's what we'd consider gliding, where you get a bit of acceleration at the beginning, but it's relatively slow, relatively smooth, very steadily drops into the micro adjustment, and then you stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we fix that? Well, for one thing, you just want to kind of strengthen out this hump. You want to get more acceleration in your initial flicks. Now, you're still learning, so you're obviously not going to be able to get the ideal flick immediately. So maybe instead of trying to go like that, just keep the acceleration up for a bit longer, slow down a bit less, a bit further, and then micro adjust a bit sooner. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So let's aim for that. Let's try that again.
Et ouais, je fais.
Remember when I said earlier that aim is
Hmm.
about balance. You can go too far with any one thing.
Yeah.
All right, so imagine this is the graph of that last run. Very high initial acceleration, not a lot of slowdown, not a lot, and then boom, stop. You basically what we were doing before the graph even came out, and then a slow micro adjustment and a land on target. So very high acceleration for the flick, very low acceleration for the micro adjustment. This speed is simply too fast for you right now. Maybe give it 2 weeks of high focus on this new technique and the speed will be fine. But for now, let's not try to go that fast. But that doesn't mean go so slow that you're going like this, right? The goal is to find a middle ground speed where, yes, it is kind of hard to get the slowdowns properly and land the micro adjustments, but it's not impossible like that speed would be for you. And you can kind of learn the technique. If you go so slow that the slowdown is barely even a slowdown and you're pretty much already at micro adjustment speed, then you're not learning the technique. You're making it look like you learn the technique because you're over focusing on this part of the graph, this part of the flick, while ignoring this part of the flick. The hard part isn't doing any one of these things. Anyone can slow down their flick from a high speed to a low speed. Anyone can slowly move themselves onto a target. Anyone can make a fast flick. The micro adjustment is probably the hardest part because you do actually have to have some speed to make it onto a target. But overall, none of these are hard alone. The hard part is combining them into one fluid motion. So let's try that again. Try to not go so fast that you're stopping after every flick. Not go so slow that you have no challenge and struggle at all.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Just have to do something. It's 30 seconds.
No worries.
We just had the dog doing that stuff.
Hmm?
I just had the problem with my dog. It's okay
Oh, no
now.
worries,
So
no worries, no worries.
okay.
All right, let's try this one more time. All right. Despite what score may be telling you, that is by far your best run yet. Scores vary when you're trying to learn a new technique versus an old one you have practiced a lot on. You're going to have a bit of a dip in score before you have a lot of improvement, right?
Mhm.
Once we can be okay with that, we can start working on how to actually improve. So let's look at the graph and I'll show you why that run, while it was your best one yet, still wasn't completely perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know. It's painful. So your initial acceleration, pretty good. This point, like this, pretty much lined up with the gold, right? That is very good. This part, then you trickled off, and then you flattened out, and then you started your slowdown way earlier than it should have. Let's slow to the right point. Micro adjusted at a pretty good speed and stopped on target, right? So what you'll notice is for a pretty good percentage of this, you were on the golden zone. You just you just flatten out a bit early, slow down a bit early. So that's honestly more of a training issue than an actual technique issue. You might have hit the best technique that you'll hit in this session, but what you really want to focus on being able to do in the future is slowing down later and accelerating a bit more. Makes
Yeah, I
sense?
see. Yeah,
So,
sure.
all right, nice, nice. I'm just hoping this is good. Let's see. Let's try it in a few different scenarios. Hit on. We're gonna go to on. Wait. Show me what's on your playlist.
Oh.
Just scroll through the playlist on the right. I want to see what's on. All right. Hmm. All right. And you're able to play that playlist every day,
Yeah.
and it doesn't get boring.
No, it's okay. It's like it's not that boring because I see improvement, you know. So
Okay.
when you see your
Yep.
job is getting you something,
All
it's
right.
fine.
All right. And that takes an hour, looks like.
Yeah, a bit more than an hour because like these ones are a bit longer.
Oh yeah, I probably
Um,
forgot to take into account the pasu being 87, not 60 seconds.
yeah, so the
All right.
this one is a bit longer, but it's okay. It's fine.
All right, as long as that's fine with you, that's fine with you. I've been coaching you for quite some time now. So if I trust you to be able to tell me, "Oh, I want to play for this long," and if the routine's kind of boring, that's fine. But what we're gonna do is go to an online scenario called Wide Wall Three Targets Pokeball. It has spaces. You're gonna have to type in it's three targets, and then you're gonna need the word Pokeball at the end.
Ah, okay.
And then yeah, top one.
First one.
Yep. Play it. I'm guessing this was on one of your old routines. When you play it,
It's
try to focus on not stopping, but slowing down from your flicks. And also hold down mouse 1 the entire time if you aren't. Like, like have the initial acceleration, just slow down at the end. And don't stop until you're on the target. Slow down instead of stopping.
still not that. I see. I'm doing to my first flick is like okay, and then I flat in the middle of the flick. Yeah, I
You were
see.
kind of struggling, but you had the right idea. Just you weren't able to apply the techniques.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. That's good. Let's see. Hit done. Let's try the same thing in. Replace the wide wall 3 targets with one wall 4 one W4TS, one wall 4 targets, small. But leave the Pokeball. So like just highlight the, yeah, that works. Yeah, just delete it all and retype Pokeball, that's fine.
Like this.
No. One wall 4 targets, small
Ah,
Pokeball.
one wall. One wall. A
But
wide
it's like
wall.
one
Okay.
W4TS. No, one wall. The the number one.
One.
The alright, alright. Here, just hit the gray X and I'll tell you which keys to press. Alright, the number one key, the numerical symbol for one.
Yeah.
W. W. 4. No, just one W, just one W. 4. T. S. Spacebar. Pokebo. Pokeball. Pokeball. Not Pokeball. Ah, jeez. Alright, nice. Top one. Let's start with the top one. Nice. Try to apply the same techniques. At this point, your flicks will probably be slower because your micro adjustments will have to be more accurate, but that's fine. Keep a bit... No, nice. Just try and find the balance. Alright, nice, nice. How did that feel?
Painful.
Pretty hard?
It's like, yeah, because I want to go faster because I had that bad technique, like flick fast, then stop, then micro adjust.
Yep, that's a technique. Just... You'll
But
get over it.
yeah, the thing is, I know it's like bad because actually I'm struggling at getting more speed, and now I'm Mortal 3, so people are shooting faster to the head, and I'm losing way more the gunfight. So I know it's not viable technique to improve, but actually it's the technique like I use, so actually it's hard to to change. But I understand the points. Yeah, it's way faster, and you show me with the graph, we can see it's way better to do that.
And in game, I'm sure you've noticed a lot of times you'll end up flicking. You'll either hit the head or you'll be stuck next to the head and then you'll die.
Yeah, yeah.
Very rare for the micro adjustments to happen. So that's kind of the application of this. So, All right, let's hit done. Let's go to OCH click on any. You can search it up. It's also on your playlist.
This
Top
one?
one. Top one. Play LU1.
The,
Yep.
the David, the I try to do the technique, but it's way harder.
Yep. Applying this technique is pretty hard. All right. All right. Here's gonna be your dynamic goal. So 1 while 6 targets, will be your. We'll change this to all of static. So any
Mhm.
Pokeball or static clicking. A few other points for it will be don't spend too much time on slowdowns. Remember the graph, and I'll send you a link to this graph. I'll share graph music save anyone with link. I sent you a link to the graph. Remember the graph. Don't spend too much time. Is seamlessly transition between flicks and micros. Don't spend too much time on slowdowns. Remember the graph. And dynamic. All right. So first of all, goal is to work up to applying your static technique on dynamic. Problem is that you lack reading ability. So to train this, you will pick a point. You will attempt to perceive the bot's path. I spelled that wrong, didn't I? Perceive the bot's path. And statically flick to a point along it, trying to get closer to the ball on average every day. So for dynamic, the approach I want you to try is instead of just trying to apply the static technique, end up tracking the bot and just not applying the technique, flick to imagine the bot's path in the air, like as it continues its direction infinitely. Flick to a point along that path the same way you would in a static scenario. Sit on that point until the bot crosses your crosshair. If the bot changes directions, doesn't come to your crosshair, just move on to the next bot. And try and get closer to the bot every day. Does that make sense? So you're
Yeah.
essentially treating it as a static target that'll only exist in the point for a very limited period of time instead of an actual moving target. And you try and use target reading to work
Okay.
around that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's can I see you try it again?
Okay.
Nice. All right, really try to do the thing. Try to do the thing and don't worry about hitting or missing.
Uh, yeah, trade one. I think I'm doing too fast. It's like automatic. I see him change this. I don't want to pass the next. I'm trying to adjust it. But I understand I'd like to go and wait. He come to my crosshair and then click. That's the point, right? And then they've changed the direction. I have to change the target.
Alright, here, watch. We're gonna do another drawing. I'm gonna try and explain this as best as I can. Moving bot. This one I won't be able to send to you because it's gonna be something I change over moving around the shapes around the page. So it won't make sense as a still image. So just pay attention and watch it back on stream if you like the stream recording if you have to. We'll make this just the color it is. So this is the bot. And for simplicity, this dot right here, that's black, is your crosshair. So the bot will move something like this. Though, as far as you know, it could move like that. It could switch right now, move like that. There's a lot of ways it could move, right? But what you do know is that it's one, moving in a direction, and two, you can see the derivative of that velocity, the acceleration. So you might see that the bot's slowing down. So what you might see is its acceleration, its velocity is something like this. Its acceleration is something like this. So it's moving up more quickly, and it's slowing down on a horizontal axis. So what you can assume its movement will look like is... Oh, nope, it's getting stuck to the things. So we'll just start here. Hold on. So you can assume it'll move something like this. And eventually, right?
Okay.
So that's pretty hard to just do just by looking at the bot. But you just kind of gotta learn to understand that when you're playing the scenario. How to understand a bot's velocity and acceleration. And because of that, you'd want to try and move your crosshair to somewhere along this path, say right here, where if it changes acceleration, because these bots are very smooth, so you will be able to predict it, and then as the bot travels its path, it passes over your crosshair before cutting up, and you click on that bot. So that is your goal, but again, the bot has randomization. It's not bound to one particular spot. So hypothetically, you could do all of this perfectly, and the bot still makes maybe a sudden left strafe, sudden over here, sudden over here. This is just a probability. It's not an actual guarantee. So don't expect to hit the bot often. If you land along this path and the bot doesn't follow it, just move on to the next bot. Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, nice. Let's watch this a second. Let's try and see if you can get this.
Okay.
Getting there.
Understand the
It's
code, but
very
it's
hard to do because this isn't an ideal approach. Ideally, you'd be extremely close to the bot, but you're going a bit further away from the bot just to learn it. You're learning
okay.
reading. You're just trying to understand things so that eventually you can land on the bot, and that's fine.
Okay.
You just gotta learn. And there is nothing wrong with that. So, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna design you a playlist. In that playlist, I'm gonna put some scenarios that you'll find this technique much more easy to apply on, like floating heads and pure G horizontal clicking Valorant. Also, some reps of OCH click where this technique will be its absolute hardest, right? So you know how to do this on a floating head scenario. Obviously, it's pretty easy. You just aim in front of the bot. The bot's moving in the same direction pretty much infinitely. So there's no acceleration to read, no risk of it changing directions. It's just a much easier version of this. So pure G horizontal clicking Valorant is a bit harder, but it's still pretty easy. You just kind of got to make sure it doesn't switch directions. It's just floating heads with a bit of a directional change, so it kind of forces you to go a bit closer to the target and rewards you for that. And as you get better at dynamic, what you'll want to do is land closer and closer to the target until you're landing on the target, right?
Okay.
So just try and feel like you're getting closer every day. Let's see. Other than that, I'm just waiting for my Kovacs to finish downloading online scenarios, then I'll make your next playlist. It'll be a lot of Pokeball, a bit of static, and a lot of dynamics. So new. One wall, 6 targets small. Wide wall, 3 targets Pokeball. I'll throw on wide wall, 3 targets normal actually as well. Wide wall, 3 targets Pokeball. Wide wall, 3 targets small Pokeball. 1 wall, 4 targets small Pokeball. 30% and normal. How many scenarios is that? 1, 2, 6. Nice. What other scenarios? Let's throw on a. Just thinking what other scenarios I want to include in your routine. Yeah, why not? Wide wall 4 targets small, wide wall 4 targets Pokeball, small Pokeball, Pokeball auto frenzy, wide wall 4 targets. How many scenarios is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, cool. OCH click. OCH click headshot. OCH click headshot 30% spell. So like a OCH click slow version. Oh, 8 headshot easier, that'll be helpful. Floating heads, timing 400%. Pure G horizontal clicking Valorant. Valorant small. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I got good news. Each scenario only takes 4 reps instead of 5 this time because I was able to get 15 on the playlist, which is nice.
Okay.
I saved it. I'm gonna
Mm,
upload it to the workshop and I'm gonna send it to you.
thanks. And so I start doing this slowly and I try to improve faster and faster, right?
You wanna don't think about it as slowly and get faster. Think about it as just working on having an acceleration and then having your slowing and then having your micro adjustments. You want to get closer to that golden line, regardless of whether you're slightly faster and slowing down too fast or slightly too slow. Just try and aim for the golden line and see how close you can get for it
Okay.
over time.
I see.
If you go slowly, you can do it, and you can do it pretty easily.
Yeah. Just like I see how much job I have to do. It's like gonna be hard, I think. At least for me.
Yep, it's definitely hard. It'll be hard, but anyone can aim train mindlessly, just flick through scenarios. That's easy. What that's not what you should try to do. What you should be trying to do is actively working on your issues, improving
Mm-hmm.
your aim that way. Again, anyone can just mindlessly flick through scenarios effortlessly. That's not hard. The goal is to improve, so you should be doing things that'll make you improve. Any other questions?
No, thank you. It's perfect. So I do that for like 1 month again.
All right, yep, I will see you soon. In that case, a month. Hmm. DM me before you purchase next time because I move out to school on September 2nd and the Wi-Fi out there is much worse than home. So I don't know exactly what I'll do for availability this semester. So it might be very hard to book. So just talk to me before you book another session.
Okay, perfect.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Thanks to you. And yeah,
All
have
right,
a nice month.
thank you. Goodbye. Have a good one. Um, Chat. Chatulus. Chatius. Do I play Apex? No, I do not play Apex. It's my favorite aim trainer. What up, dude? I'm chilling. Bing chilling. Chat, I will be back. Wait, let me actually fact check myself before I give you guys lies. Um, Streamed 1 hour. Session takes place in 22 hours. I will be back in stream in 22 hours if you want to pull up for a different aim coaching session. Otherwise, goodbye.